And
opposite the show.
How was Frank, from a professional, talking about another professional, how was Frank Sinatra as an entertainer?
As we're here, as an entertainer?
Yeah.
He was a super entertainer. He had the poise, the passion, and he understood that vocally he had to be an instrument. And it's funny, in talking to him, I said, well, your phrasing is a little bit lagged, you know, like he doesn't sing on top of the beat.
Like he's talking instead of singing.
Right, right. In other words, the music is continuing, and the beat is 2 and 4, let's say, right? But he won't sing that note on the beat. He'll step back a little bit. He'll go ahead. And his answer to that was, he said, well, he said, I pattern myself vocally from sax section in an orchestra, saxophone players. The way they play, that's the way he sang. And if you go back and you listen to some arrangements and stuff, you listen to sax players, or if they take a solo, and I did do this, you could see what he was talking about, you know? Yeah.
I'm surprised he just didn't say I did it.
That's what I was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Where you going?
I'm going here to drink a water.
Oh.
Man, I've never seen you act. Any chance of getting in there?
Well, I'm not locally yet.
Oh, okay.
I just moved back about a year and 4 months ago.
You do cover songs or your own songs, or?
I just do cover songs.
Okay.
But I do Broadway stuff.
All right.
I'm a cross between, I don't know, an Engelbert
like
Humperdinck.
Oh, okay.
Tony Bennett.
Okay. Tony Bennett.
Dean Martin, sense of humor, you know, that kind of thing. Tuxedo.
Sing Tony Bennett, you're doing all right.
Yeah. You're back, right?
What do you think about like the younger guys like Michael Bublé and people like that reinventing like Sinatra and you guys' crooner style or whatever you want to say?
No one can reinvent anything.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. The man was an icon and still is an icon. He'll be in history from now until 500 years from now. Presley would be the king of rock and roll, and Sinatra is the king of pop at that time in the 40s and 50s, you know.
It's a big band there.
I'm against impersonators. I'm not against the impersonator per se if they're within a show, a theme, like Legends in Concert. Okay, you're going to be a Sinatra. I can understand that. But I'm against the individual who is that impersonator and actually believes that he's that person. You see? And they are saying what you just said, I'm going to do this my way. No, you can't. And case in point, there was a show at the Venetian Hotel, and the artist is Bob Anderson, who's a personal friend, and he's an incredible impersonator. Within his show, he does like Dean Martin, like Sammy. He does them all. He'll do Rich Little, and he has a superior voice. Sounds like a popcorn machine.
Yeah.
So he had a show at the Venetian Hotel. He went through the expense to have a makeup artist from California come in, make him up with hair and everything to look identical to Sinatra. And he did a show with a 32-piece orchestra, violins and everything. And for that hour and 20 minutes, he was Frank Sinatra. I don't approve of that. Might sound crazy, but I don't approve of that.
Did he do a good job?
Huh?
Did he do a good job? Was it a good show? You liked it?
When you say did he do a good job, execution-wise, yeah.
All right. So the audience was pleased.
Huh?
The audience was pleased. They were.
The audience was pleased? No, the audience
stage.
was, no, the audience was tricked to be pleased.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
Because the audience, they were 55 and up.
Right.
They knew of Sinatra. They may have attended his shows. So they were tricked to believe that the spirit of Sinatra is still here, you know, which is okay. It's okay.
Well, I've seen Elvis impersonators, but they never got me to the way that he made you feel.
Well, here's what I'm understanding now. I believe that show is trying to be booked on a steady situation. You see?
Wow.
And I'm not saying
Frank Sinatra impersonators, but I've seen a lot of Elvis impersonators.
I think why I'm against impersonators is because they hide behind the credentials of someone who had that passion and belief and made a monumental career for themselves with an iconic name. But you take a Dondino, which is myself, I don't hide behind anybody. I got to get out there, and I'm just Dondino. I do Sinatra songs, of course I do. Do I imitate them? Absolutely not.
Well, I understand what you're saying, yeah.
See what I mean? So until that artist can prove to me that they stand alone, they spend their own dollars to pay for the musical charts, their staging, their whatever. But it'd be so cool for a Dondino to say, well, let's forget Dondino. I'm going to do Dondino's tribute to Dean Martin. And I'm going to get out there and I'm going to be with a glass.
In
And
Houston, man.
I can't do that. Why do I want to do that? You see? But that's an easy road. An easy road to gain employment. Huh?
Very true. They're hiring the Dean Martin persona, not you. They're hiring the other person, not really you. They want Dean Martin there, so you do Dean Martin, we'll hire you. That type of job.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I won't prostitute or lower my standards to do that.
That's
No way
exactly
in
what
hell.
it's
No
we
way
all
in
do
hell.
that every day. Prostitute ourselves. Just
No
do
way
the
in
job.
hell.
We do.
If I can't get a job on my own,
We gotta sell ourselves.
Well, but that doesn't mean you have to sell who you are. That
Well,
doesn't
it's a
mean
difference.
you have to. Well, there's a big difference,
Yeah, okay.
right? I mean, there's a big difference between
Selling and
selling
prostitution.
yourself what you have to offer and something that's good versus taking the, for Marcus Aurelius, if you remember, the swinish road, the low road of doing something that's not inherently good.
I don't think it's 100% sincere, that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, they make money in it. Okay, great. I respect it for the fact that, okay, you make money. People come there and they pay the ticket and whatever else,
We have a couple minutes left. I want to go back to the finding your passion.
Okay.
Because here, we, for employment, we talk to students. I mean, our program is find something that you're passionate about. Find a job that if you could afford to, you like it so much that if you could afford to work there for free, you would. Or find something that you love it so much that if you could afford to, you hated it, as opposed to just getting a job to pay the bills. And so a lot of people, typically what happens is when we say to people, identify some companies that are in the business that is your passion, people say, well, I don't know what my passion is. I don't really know what I would love to, a business I would like to dedicate, a career I'd like to dedicate my life to, where the money is secondary. I'm not doing it just for the pay. So for you, it seems like you liked music. You had the lucky bad thing that your lead singer got sick.
You're right.
You stepped in and then it was good. And then you just knew. But what if you maybe you can think of something like if you were like one of our students and they're here learning skills, hard skills, and then they need to go off and get a career. How do you figure out, how do you know, other than you just know, how do you know when you find that thing you're passionate about? How can you try to figure it out?
Finding the passion, you don't use a metal detector. That's impossible. Okay? Finding the passion for me was learning my priorities, and through learning my priorities and what I thought was important, that was not important, I used that as a tool to say, well, that's not that important, so I'm not going to spend that much time doing that. But if you could just, it's not even like even making a list. It's almost impossible, It has to be total awareness of your life, where you're coming from, the experiences that you had in your past life. You see, I mean, past life, and what you want to do for the future. But to understand all of that, you have to actually put your priorities, such as the gentleman back there, you know, who said substance abuse and stuff like that. Well, if that's one of your priorities, well, you're never going to, you know, understand what your passion is. Yeah. So that's just a small example. But there are other things that are in our lives, and the most important thing in your life is the age that you are. That's what I've learned in my life, see? And the age that you are, I think that's where you start making a priority to say, well, I've done that, and it didn't work. I've done this, it didn't work. But yes, I'm sorry.
Have you ever lost everything or come close to losing everything, and then pulled yourself out of that?
Not once, but 3 times I've been bankrupt. I went to Branson, Missouri with a dream, and it worked. I lost my theater and $1.5 million of savings of 13 years. But it's not about the money. Money is not the answer.
Right, I understand that. How did you pull yourself together mentally to say, you know, once you lost everything, how do you get yourself back up?
You can't be dragged down with personal situations, and you cannot, and by dragging, and it happened to me, but I caught myself. Here I am, I have a daughter, and what do? See? And I could sit there and feel sorry for myself. I could sit there and tell my friends, you know, wow, man, I lost everything, you know, and I don't want to hear what they have to say, because all they're doing is telling me that they're answering me, but they're not answering me from their experiences. They're answering me because, well, they're my friend. They want me to feel better. Don't worry about it. It's kind of a thing where you just have to say, it's not money. You have to get your crap together, if that's the word, and find your direction. And that's not hard to do. It really isn't. You may have to borrow a few bucks from family or a friend or whatever to get your butt back in gear, you know. But if you have that true talent ability, that's your stock. That's your NASDAQ. That's your whole, you know, value. Not money. Not money. It's the product of yourself that's the value. And if you understand that, you have to put the priorities together. You can't sit down and say, well, you know, my daughter's 7 years old, you know, and I'm not going to be able to do this right now because I got to take care of her, you know. No, you can take care of both. If you got your ducks in a row and you got your sights set with your priorities. And it's happened to me, not once, but 3 times, you see. And being above board at the present moment, I'm standing in front of you, okay? I'm back in Las Vegas after my theater closed in Branson, Missouri. From Branson, Missouri, I came back to Las Vegas for a year because I had a condominium here. And from there, I went to Des Moines, Iowa, in the Midwest. So I had to utilize my priorities for my ability and my talent. I saw that Vegas did a little bit of a change. It wasn't the Vegas, let's say in 1993 when I first left for Branson, Missouri, that it was in 2003. See? So I said, I'm going to spin my wheels here right now. I have to get my ducks in a row, and I need income. What do? I went to Des Moines, Iowa, because I had roots there. My first agent from my total professional was in 1969 from Des Moines, Iowa. So I have roots in Des Moines, Iowa, and know a lot of people. So in Des Moines, Iowa, and this is not being selfish, it's being fact. In Des Moines, Iowa, I was important to the people. In Las Vegas, I was missing in action because I was in Branson. So they had no idea who I was, and the people in the powers to be when I was here the first time are no longer. So I went to Des Moines, Iowa, regrouped everything. I got back involved with Variety Club Telethon, which I was one of the founders to in 1974, and I set roots there, you see, and that allowed me to start getting a paycheck. doing what my passion is, music, singing. So if I were to say very candidly and upfront and honest, my strategy, and this is not negative or mean, but my strategy was Iowa, St. Louis, or Branson, maybe the 20 years behind the times. So I fit in now, you see?
It's a good strategy.
Yeah, it is. So after all of that, and my partner, who was my wife also, we said, it's time to go back to Vegas. And I'm only back a year and a half. But I know it's right. And the maneuvers and things and rekindling relationships, you know, within the past year and a half have helped tremendously. And it's just a matter of maybe 3 to 6 months. I'll be working. I'll have my own showroom.
And I think it's called inner strength. And I
Inner
don't
strength,
think you would
yeah.
have the inner strength.
Perseverance. Yeah.
And that's why everyone's here today. You have to have that inner strength.
And I believe, and I wanted to make T-shirts one time, consistent persistence. Never give up, man. Ever. Ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
Last time we were here, you were like, you had a cold or allergies.
I did.
Are you feeling better?
I feel great.
That's good.
I had a sinus infection. Pardon?
Everybody break out their smart
Yeah.
phone.
Well, I had planned that. See, Charlie Duncan from the Coasters, we're friends for 35 or 36 years, you know? And we had a whole thing planned. And we had like a backing tracks with, you know, CD and stuff. And we were just going to cut up and sing a few songs. And we will do that, you know, when he's feeling better. But we go back years. And he has the same struggle that I have. And I stand in front of you today and you may think, oh yeah, well, you know, no, I'm struggling every minute, every day. And even after I get a showroom, I'll still be struggling. It never ends.
Can I say something about the addiction?
Yeah.
You were lucky you never had an addiction. Many of your band members certainly did. And
Yeah.
you have taken many of your band members to counseling
Yeah.
and committed
Yeah.
to units to help with.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know.
I put 2 musicians in rehab
Wow.
because I believed in them.
And performed at the rehab while they were there.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Was that here?
Here in Las Vegas.
These can be tough.
Yeah. So,
As an artist, do you rest your vocals sometimes?
never.
I got an artist over here, and I keep telling them to rest your vocals.
No.
Save
They rest vocals, yeah.
I should tell my ex-wife that.
Yeah. Probably did.
Rest your vocals.
Yeah.
That was a diplomatic way to say, shut up.
He gets confused.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good. We've gone past our YouTube time,
Uh-oh.
even though we've done it. What we had to do this three times in here. The internet went out.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys noticed it,
Yeah,
but
because it's saying can't connect to the server and it's going to retry at 200 and something minutes.
okay. So we've been back up for a while. But anyway. We are very appreciative that Dondino took his time and Donna came down here. We're sorry that Charlie couldn't make it. You are a you are a role model, even though we don't teach people to be entertainers. You know, we do more of the blocking and tackling, customer service, administrative, sales, and accounting type things. But you know what you've been through, your experience in life is helpful for everybody trying to figure out where do I go from here. And
It's the same
you know,
thing.
Can I make it? You just reminded me of
yeah,
something.
sure.
You said like you're teaching, like what you guys are doing is very similar to a music arrangement. When I write a musical chart, and most people, when they write charts, you know, they, oh, well, I want to put this in there, and I want to put this in there. This is going to sound great, you know. That's not the way to write a musical chart. It's not what you put in the chart that's important. It's what you leave out. That's important. And I don't know if that could be understood.
Okay, so
So you don't over.
yeah, well, I think that's good because for anybody who thinks that we don't do enough, those are the things we leave out. Okay, all the stuff that we don't do. We try to just focus on the things we do. We leave the other stuff out. Because if you're good, and I think this is your point, if you do your chart good at the things that you include, it's going to work.
Right, that's what I meant.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. Thank you, Dondino, for being here.
Encore.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys,
Sure.
together, and can I use it on the
Yeah, of course.
website?
Yeah.
You know, we have the Larson Training Center on our website.
Yeah, we do.
Very
Visit. So if you go on Dondino's website, you'll see yourself.
Okay.
Okay.